What is going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. So as you can see, we are loaded up once again and we are getting ready to head back to Lebanon Valley. We're gonna go see what we can do for some 60 foots. Last time we were up there, we got kicked out for not having a cage. So today we might just work on like 8th mile or so. And then towards the end of the day, if we can get something to stick, get the car to hook and go down, we might run it out the back and see what we can do with this thing. We are gonna be trying out the new tires today, so we've got to break those in a little bit and also just practice launching the car a little bit differently than we were before to see if I can get this thing to leave without spinning real bad. So as always, guys, thank you for checking out the channel. Don't forget to subscribe and ring that bell. That way you get notified anytime we put out a video with the GTO, the Duramax, or the Hellcat. Let's go ahead and get through the intro and get right to the track. Guys, so as you can see, we have made it out here to the track. We're gonna go ahead and get this thing unloaded, go over to tech and try to get this thing through. Once we get done with that, we're gonna come back like usual, put some fuel in this thing, check the tires, and get it ready to go out and make a pass. So let's head on over to tech. All right, guys, so we just went through tech, we got our number, we got through, but they told me that I do have to go upstairs and fill out a form and make some passes for, it's called like a street class license or a competition street class. It's this paperwork right here. I'm not 100% sure what it is. I think it's like 65 bucks. But we're gonna go upstairs, talk to them, see what we have to do and what we can do, and get it done and over with so that next time we don't have to deal with it. So we're gonna head on upstairs and try to get this sorted out. So we just got back from the tower. We're gonna go ahead and get the camera set up and go out and make a couple runs. Not sure if I'm just gonna do 8 hits for now until we get this thing to not spin, but for the license, I'm supposed to run between a 999 and a 9.0. I'm kind of worried that we're gonna run too fast of a mile an hour and not be able to do either and get done for the day. So I'm kind of nervous about that. I'd really rather just work on getting out of the 60 foot into like 8th mile. So I haven't decided on that yet. I think that's what we're gonna do though. We also don't have my buddy Dylan here to help us today, so video might be a little bit difficult, but we're gonna work with what we've got and see what we can do. So let's go ahead and get this thing set up. Guys, we finally got it to leave. Woo! I let out early because I didn't want to get kicked out immediately again. I let out before the strut because I've got to be between a 999 and a 10.0. So I'm hoping that we let out early enough and that we're good. Thank you. right, guys, so we just made our first pass of the day. Like I said, we are doing our licensing passes, so they had to be between a 9.0 and a 10.0. I let off probably a good 100+ foot short. If you guys seen the last video, you would know that this car trapped right around 162 mile an hour, and we think it still had more in it. Today, I'm just gonna show you guys the slip. A 9.1 at 134 mile an hour. I let off so early, it's not even funny, guys. This car has an easy 8 in it, guys. I think we're gonna go deep into the 8s. I'm gonna finish doing my licensing passes today, at least get that done and out of the way. If we have enough time to do 2 more passes, I'll do my second licensing pass, and if that goes good and we're done with that, I will run it out the back, and if they kick us out, they kick us out, because I wanna see what this thing's gonna do. So let's go ahead and start cooling this thing down and get ready, and we're just gonna have to sit around and wait for them to call us up. So we're gonna get the car ready and get it turned around and wait for them to call us so we can head back up there. Alright guys, well that one had spun sadly, so that kind of sucks, but it is what it is. I tried to get back in it and run it close to being out, but I don't know if that's going to put us into the 9s. I'm really hoping for that 9 for the licensing pass, but I don't know if we got it, so we'll just have to wait and see. That sucks, guys. We went 10:03. Gonna have to go do another licensing pass, so I'm gonna go get some ice, try to cool this thing down in time to go make another run. All right, guys, so as you've seen on that last pass, it did not go our way. We spun out of the hole, and then I lifted on the big end because for some reason I thought we were gonna have too high of a mile an hour, like last weekend when it went 162 and we got kicked out. So that didn't work out for us. We ended up going the 10.003, which is just barely too slow to get our licensing pass. But other than that, we've got bigger issues to worry about. For whatever reason, this thing is getting hot again. It was fine through the pass. I had coolant temp up on the dash and I was watching it like a hawk the whole way through the staging lanes and when we made our pass. And it was perfectly fine until right after the pass when I pulled around to the shack to get our ticket, and then it started getting hot on me. Got up to like 220-ish and I killed it, and then it started puking coolant everywhere, as you guys can see. A little trail of coolant right there, and the tank filled up again. I'm not sure exactly what's causing it. I don't know what it could be. I don't want to speculate yet though. We'll talk to Ripa and the engine builder and see what they want to do, and we will go from there with it. Hopefully it's something quick and easy so that we can keep racing this thing. I really want to get that 8-second pass, but we're just gonna have to see what happens. So we're gonna go ahead and let this thing cool off for a little bit here, then we'll fire it up and get it up on the trailer. As you guys can tell, we are back in the garage. We did get the car home, and I'm still not 100% sure what is going on with the cooling system. We had a very similar issue happen last week at the track. It would run completely fine, and then after the pass, it would start overheating when I was idling back to the truck. I bled the entire cooling system when I did the new thermostat last week because I wasn't sure if maybe the thermostat was sticking or something. And when I did so, I jacked up the driver's side of the car, let it run for a while. We took this thing for a ride down the street, came back, let it idle some more, as well as letting it idle up to temperature before we put it on the trailer. And when we got to the track, everything was fine. We made our first pass, and it was still completely fine. Waited in the staging lanes, let the car idle so that the inner chiller could run and bring our supercharger temps down, and it was still completely fine. Made the pass, came back, let it idle, no issue. Then we made our second pass. As you guys seen, we spun, but we made the pass, and then it would start getting hot after the fact. When I grabbed the ticket, I started to notice the coolant temp was going up, so I tried to hurry up and get it back to the trailer, and as you've seen, I shut it off before I got there because I don't like to let it get over about 220 or so, and it started pushing coolant out once again. I'm pretty confident that we had all of the air bubbles out of this thing, so I really don't think that's it. Like I said, I ran the heat, ran the car for a long time, and never had an issue until after the pass. So I'm starting to wonder if there's something weird going on. It's got the new thermostat in it. I might throw a new radiator cap on it. We could start looking into a water pump, but with the water pumps for these things being upwards of $700, I'd really rather not just throw one on it on a whim. But we're gonna have to just keep an eye on it, throw a radiator cap on it, and try that out. The thing that sucks is it doesn't seem to do it until after a pass. So there's really no way to tell unless we bring it back up there or go out and make some street hits. But the thing doesn't really get traction on the street, so we'll just have to see what happens. But other than that, the thing's running fine. It seemed to have plenty of power. It made the passes just like it should, minus spinning on the second one. So let's go ahead and take a look at the slips. I want to show you guys the slip from last weekend when we trapped 162 mile an hour, which if you guys didn't see that video yet, make sure to go back and check it out. That's the fastest I've been in that car. So let's go ahead and take a look at the slips. So as you guys can see here, we've got the slip from last week, like I said, where it did 162. You can see the 60 foot on that was a 185, and then 660 we did 657 at 124 mile an hour. Now, the fastest pass we've gone so far is this 9-1, which I was doing for my licensing pass. And not gonna lie, I could totally kick myself for letting out of it. I should have just ran it out whether they kicked us out or not. But I was so concentrated on getting those licensing passes done that I didn't even think about it. I just lifted because I knew it was going to be too fast. So I'm kind of mad at myself for that. I really wish I would have ran it out the back because I think that would have been the 8 that we've been looking for. So as you can see here on this one, the 60 foot was our best yet at a 149. I still think it has a good amount left in it. I think with the new tires and how I'm launching it, I can start feeding it a little bit more RPM. 330 was a 392. 660 was a 588. So if you look at our other slip here, our 660 was a 657. So we shaved off a lot of time to the 660. Now, mile an hour was 128 versus the 124 over here. So we were already 4 miles an hour faster on this pass than our 162 mile an hour pass. And then we did the 1,000 foot at a 757. ET personal best was a 9.1. I really firmly believe that that would have been a high 8 or even better. And you can see the mile an hour was 134. So, like I mentioned, I'm really mad that I let out of it. I wish I would have just ran it out because we were already 4 miles an hour faster at the 8th. So it really kind of sucks. I think this thing was ready to trap a lot higher than that 162 that we had before. And I also think that we were going to be running that 8-second pass that I've been looking for. So once again, pretty mad at that. But what are you gonna do? We live and we learn. This is still only, I believe, my 7th pass ever down a drag strip. So to be approaching the 8s this fast, I'm super happy about that. I've got to do some things, try to figure out the car and see if we can come up with why our cooling system is acting up. So I'm gonna start looking into that. But while we're trying to figure that out, we're going to get back on the GTO. We've got to get this thing to alignment next week. And then a couple other little things. I'm going to put a fuel pressure gauge on it and a couple other little minor things so that we can get it ready to get this one to the track, as well as some fun street stuff. So as always, guys, I appreciate you for checking out the channel. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and ring that bell so that you get notified anytime we put out a video with the GTO, the Duramax, or the Hellcat. And we will catch you on the next one.